feels like I'm turning right, but I'm not.
You're not perfect. Good. You're on point right now. Yeah.
Cool.
That looks good.
I'm Jason Miller, a full-time professional flight instructor. On the Finer Points channel, you can join me as I bring you tips and tricks that I've learned from 20 years on the flight line.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Finer Points. I'm flying solo today, but I actually have been doing some lessons at the San Carlos Flight Center recently. Do you guys remember that we're following Joe all the way through his instrument rating? Joe's one of my instrument students. We did a recent flight. It was the first time he'd been in an airplane in 2.5 months, 3 months, something like that. He's been using the simulator. We've been doing those remote ground lessons that you saw, but you know, flying, this is a great example of flying is not like riding a bike. You remember yourself much better than you really are. Watch what happens here. You know, he was doing great with Oscar pattern and all that sort of stuff, but the first time I told him to fly an airspeed and a heading, he was pretty all over the road. So I made a note to fix it, and then we went on to check in with holding patterns, which were equally rough. So we came back to work on this. If you're interested in seeing the whole, well, not the whole lesson, but at least the holding pattern part of it, that's up on Patreon. But what I want to show you here in this video are the 2 exercises that I pulled out to help Joe with the fact that he could not hold an airspeed and a heading when I asked him to while under the hood. So we rolled up our sleeves, we went to the gym, and here's what that looked like. Let's fly heading 220 and just continue to climb at 80 knots, please.
220. And we're climbing at 80 knots.
While we're climbing here, let's go ahead and tune in and identify the Woodside VOR. Hold heading and airspeed.
Okay, I wonder if I can see the Woodside VOR. I'm just gonna do it. So Woodside VOR is 113.9.
Yep.
I don't know why I can't keep airspeed here, and I'm off heading as well. Okay, 113.9. So 113.9 is actually already tuned in. Back on my heading here.
Things start out okay, but right around the time Joe reaches for his iPad, which was not out and available, things start to fall apart. He really starts to chase the data and, you know, chase the needles. Just remember that regardless of whether or not you're VFR or IFR, you use control and performance. You set a sight picture and a known power setting and then kind of measure that performance on performance indicators. So anyway, I made a note of this. We went on to work on holds, but we came back later in the lesson and I wanted to work on 2 specific things with him that I think might solve this problem.
One thing I want to practice on the way out there, do you remember the old school days? Well, you don't remember, but have you ever read about the old school days of needle ball and airspeed where people did not use the attitude indicator?
No.
Well, they didn't have attitude indicators. So they would say needle ball and airspeed, that's how you fly in the clouds, right? I want you to trust your turn coordinator a little bit more, include it in the scan a little bit more. So I want to get on heading here of west, and then I'm going to cover the attitude in the heading, and I just want you to show me no turn on the turn coordinator. So like that, perfect. Just don't let that turn coordinator turn as if you're going to win, you know, big. If you don't let it, yeah, you don't ever have to go to work again. Don't let those wings move. Good, and then cross-check altitude from time to time. That's part of your, you know, so make sure you're doing. Right. This is called partial panel. This is, you are gonna, if you were, well, either way, you have to do some version of partial panel for your instrument check ride. But I want you to really think about that turn coordinator, because if those wings are not turning, your nose is not moving through the horizon. That's what's true. So if you were on west when we started this, and you're not letting those wings move,
And I'll still be on west.
You'll still be on west. Even if you bank the airplane, like for example, let me take it just for a second. I'm going to bank right, but push left rudder.
Oh, I see, as long as you keep it.
See how I'm showing no turn at all? That's banked right a little bit with left rudder, and then I can kind of come out of that. I mean, hopefully your heading will still be there.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm saying you got to trust that bad boy.
Right.
Now you got the airplane again?
I got the plane.
Earlier in the flight, you were having trouble with that. You were struggling. You were 30 degrees right of your heading, 30 degrees left of your heading, right? You haven't looked at it in how long, and you're 5 degrees left of heading, right?
Yeah, so maybe
you got to trust that
guy,
that instrument a little bit more.
Okay.
And then we're going to work on trim a little bit, because when we were climbing out, it was
it was all over the place.
Heading and airspeed, yeah. Yeah, so the things that screwed you up in the climb a little bit on the way out, it was 3 things. It was me asking for woodside and you having to get your iPad out of storage.
Yep.
Right, so
that ready.
Yeah, back in the day when we would use charts, right, we made a big deal about how to fold the charts and get your cockpit organization all ready.
Yeah, and I would have had that ready. I would have had my
IFR chart. Totally,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So let's just try that trim thing one more time. When we get on 150, let's climb up 1,000 feet at 80 knots.
Okay.
Aim real small on that guy. Where's the white line crossing that orange ball?
It's right in the middle.
Perfect. That's your sight picture.
For 80 degree.
For this particular 80. Climb trim setting, yep. Trust your turn coordinator. So what we're looking for is enough trim to hold 80, enough right rudder to hold the wings level on the turn coordinator. More right rudder. There you go, like that, good. Right rudder that's going to hold those wings level, not aileron. Of course, this plane's bent a little, so sorry. May have to modify a little bit, but there you go, good, like that. And then until you can let go of the yoke.
About 80.
That
feels like I'm turning right, but I'm not.
You're not. Perfect, good. Now you lift your hands up in the air like that, good. Now if you turn too much to the right, let up on your right foot a little bit. There you go, like that. Good. My old mentor, Richard, used to make me fly instruments like this, because back in the day we'd write all this down, right? And we're holding up and we'd have to hold everything up to the instrument just like that. When you don't have an autopilot, it's trim and right rudder that's doing all that for you.
Save you. I got it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I could just kind of bring myself right back in there.
There you go. And then you're just managing the left turning tendencies with your right foot. That's it. And your hands free, kind of, right?
Yeah, cool. Right on 80.
You're on point right now. Yeah.
Cool.
That looks good. All right, aviators, that's a good reminder for everybody, right? If there's one thing we all have in common, it's probably the rust from not flying very much. But anyway, I hope you got something out of that video. I want to invite you to a free 3-day trial of our ground school app. I'm actually up here filming for it today, so right now it's a private pilot knowledge course. You can get a lot out of it. There's a lot of little experienced tips from me, that stuff I've picked up over the years. Anyway, you get a free trial, so if you don't like it, you don't have to do anything, but you get 3 days to check it out. You can find out about that and also about how to get your free gift video at learnthefinerpoints.com. A huge thanks to the patrons for their support. If you're interested in all the Instagram lives and actually CFI study time now, we're doing once a week study sessions. You can find out how to do that on Patreon. Also, that's a great place to just support the channel with a few bucks every month and get extra bonus content. A big thanks to you, the best fans on the internet, for watching this video. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share with your friends, and most importantly, be safe and fly your best.